Hey, everybody. Thanks a lot for hanging out for the Wall to Wall Country Show today. Casey in the driver's seat here at Penn's Peak Radio as usual. And today is a very special day for me. I have a very, very special guest on the show today. So excited to chat with this lady. She's a talent that's produced music for over 20 years. Great country music. She's got 10 albums out there, 6 #1 hits, has won the Juno Award, also won the Canadian Country Music Award, Entertainer of the Year. I mean, this girl has notches in her belt. She probably has 10 belts with notches on them. Has accomplished a lot of things in the country music industry. And you all know this lady. I have no doubt in my mind. Please make welcome to the shore my guest today, Miss Terri Clark. Hey, Terri.
Hi, how are you doing?
I am fine. How are you this day?
I'm great, Casey. You know what? Any day above ground is a good day.
I get that a lot these days. I don't know why.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so excited to have you on the show today, Terri, and I've been a fan of you and your music for years, as I'm sure many of my listening audience has been, and they already know a lot about you. So let's jump into some of the new things that Terri Clark has going on, including you've got a new song out, you've got a great tour going on. Tell us a little bit about the song with Dallas Smith.
Well, Dallas Smith's a Canadian superstar. He became a friend of mine a couple of years ago and came to one of my shows and said, "Hey, I'd really love to sing a duet with you." And I was like, "Well, your lips to God's ears. Let's find a song and let's do it. And let's duet. Get it?" And we stumbled across this song that was just fantastic, written by like the biggest hit songwriters in Nashville. And I said, "Man, if we could record that, it'd be great." And we had trouble getting our hands on the song at first, and then so I wrote a different song that Dallas sang on. And when everybody heard our voices together, they were like, "Oh, well, we wanted you to do this song." And I'm like, "That's the one we wanted in the first place." So we went back to One Drink Ago and recorded it and released it across Canada. And it is now it went it went into the top 3. It went to number 3 on the charts nationwide in Canada. So it's done very well. And anybody can stream it or download it on Spotify or whatever they want. Hear it anywhere in the world now, which is great about the digital thing. You know, you can listen to a song no matter where it comes out as a single. You can listen to it in Zimbabwe and online. So that's a definite perk for the times that we're in.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, and as you know, we're an internet radio station, and we'll be playing that song a little bit later today to give people a listen to it if they haven't heard it yet here. But yeah, I mean, people all over the world will be hearing it right here on Penn's Peak Radio, too, and we're excited to play it for you and help get it out there some more. You have a
Great. Well, I appreciate it.
You're quite welcome. I mean, you have a crazy life and you've got a great tour going on. The tour a lot of it is here in the United States, and I believe you're living in Nashville. You ever going to find your way here to Pennsylvania? Because we'd love to see you at our venue.
Well, interestingly enough, I live in Nashville. That's my primary residence, but I have a cottage that I stay at in the summertime, and it's actually across Lake Erie.
Oh, okay.
So I can actually get I get Pennsylvania radio stations. I'm practically a resident.
Awesome. Yay. So that's going to be my claim. It's like Terri Clark, the Pennsylvania resident, sort of.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to say, listen, if you're ever closer to us than Erie, we're kind of on the east side, so we're just a little bit further away. You're more than welcome to come to our studios here at the venue, so that'd be awesome.
Well, I would love that. Thank you for the invite.
So you're quite welcome. So people are, really, really biting at the bit about this tour, I think, and excited to see you and all the places that you're going to be. Is this going to continue to expand? Is this something... are you going to be putting some new music together and taking that out on the road?
Yes. I've actually finished an album. It's got 13 tracks on it, and it's going to be out sometime this fall. It's called Raising the Bar. And it's not only, named Raising the Bar because there are several drinking songs interwoven throughout the theme of the record, but I think when you get to a little older and into life a little bit, you start thinking of ways that you can leave the world a better place and things that you want to raise the bar in every aspect of your life and be a better person. And you start to kind of reflect a little bit more on your past and where you're going in the future. And, I went back in 3 times to record fresh new tracks for this album because it started off as one thing and it evolved into another thing. And so there's a lot of different kinds of country music on it. It's very diverse. I've got a ton of different musicians on it. Not one track sounds like the next one. So that's one aspect I'm really proud of. And we're talking about what we're going to do touring-wise to promote it. And I would love to do, this is all hypothetical right now, but I've thrown it out there to put together like a run of bars and clubs because it's called Raising the Bar, and just go out and do a bunch of songs from the album and a bunch of hits, across the United States.
Wow.
And some bars. And then I'm sure we'll be doing a bunch of Canadian festivals and things next year as well. And throughout the year doing some stuff in Canada too. So it's going to, I think 2019 is going to be a very, very busy year with the album coming out in the fall and a single coming out, across the airwaves in August. So it's an exciting time, and I'm stoked about it. It's kind of, I'm going into the Canadian Country Music Hall of Fame in September.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to be able to have something fresh and new to pop on everybody as you're getting an honor like that. Also reminding people and letting them know that you're still, making new music and trying to stay relevant in today's scope of what's going on. And it's important for me to keep things fresh and try different tours, different music, writing songs, making new memories, new music. I just want to keep going with it because I love what I do.
Oh, that's awesome. And I was going to bring that up. I mean, you've already, like I mentioned earlier, you've had all kinds of awards. You've been nominated for a lot of things. You've walked away with some great stuff. Is it always a surprise when something like when you were announced as an inductee to the Canadian Country Music Hall of Fame, does that still come to a surprise for you, or is it one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, that was a bucket list thing, okay, it's done?
Well, both. It was a bucket list thing and something that, I hoped would happen someday when I was like 75. So it's early. It feels early, but it's an honor that they feel, that I have put enough time in and I've got enough, under my belt at this point to deserve such an honor this young. And well, I'm not young, but at this age. So it speaks volumes, and it's very humbling, and I'm very grateful for that honor, and do not take it lightly. And it's going to be a really fun celebration. I've got a lot of family that are flying up for that, and in from all areas of the country. My mom can't be with me because she passed away, and this would have been a huge thing for her to be a part of with me. And she can't be by my side, so her 2 sisters are flying in from Prince Edward Island and Calgary, Alberta, to be sitting there in the audience when I walk up and get that. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Oh, I'm sure that's going to be a very emotional night for you. And I'm sorry to hear about. I did read about your mom, and but it's one of the things that's important is no matter what, you're still doing things in their memory or in honor for those kinds of people. And for her to know that she would have been proud and is proud of you no matter what, it's a great inspiration to keep going, Right.
And I wouldn't be here without her. Like
right.
I wouldn't be standing up there and getting something like that without my mom's support growing up and taking me to Nashville when everybody thought we were crazy for doing that. And we took a lot of risks together early on because she had the faith and believed, and I believed in myself. And we were a team going into it. And now here I am, going up to accept something that, half of my team isn't there to witness it, which, I have to look at the glass like it's half full, and,
sure.
and she's up there somewhere. She's going to be there in spirit.
Sure.
But it's going to be a really big night, and I'm very excited about it.
I have no doubt her energies will be surrounding you that evening, and you're going to feel that
Definitely.
with you.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Speaking of things that are, important to the heart, I know that you're also dedicated to some charities, and you do some work for some of the projects that you have. Especially listed on your website, like the American Red Cross, the Water Project, and World Visions. Do you want to mention any of those and something that you'd like to throw out there for the listening audience to be aware of what you're doing with those charities?
Well, I went to Nicaragua with World Vision about 5 or 6 years ago, and I still donate to that charity and have World Vision kids. I have a whole bunch of them, actually. I went over and acquired more while I was there because every time I saw a situation that was just so out of whack with the way the rest of the world lives, you just can't go there and not want to do everything you can to help.
Right.
the level of poverty in a third world country is, and I agree, it has to start at home, and we have to help Americans and Canadians and all that too, but it's a whole different level. And that's why I believe in things like the Water Project and donating money to water wells that keep villages of people alive and from drinking bad drinking water, which leads to parasites and disease and death. It's just important. And World Vision is great because they basically, they lift communities up and teach them how to be self-sufficient, how to start little businesses and how to do things to rebuild a community. And that's what I like about it. And it's a great organization, and they're great people running it.
No, I think that's awesome. And I always commend artists, people in your status and your part of life where you still give back and you remember to kind of give back or pay it forward, however you want to word it. And so I commend you on that. And I admire all of the artists that find those types of places and try to help out. And I think that's just amazing.
Well, I think it's important to emphasize that it's not always just an artist thing, or it's not always a grandiose gesture to give back to the world, and anybody can do it in some small way. If it's buying somebody's coffee at Starbucks because some old lady's counting out change and doesn't have quite enough, you just buy it. You just do things like that.
That's awesome.
And I think we can all make a difference in what we are capable of giving and doing. I think it's karmic, and it's what goes in must come out, and what goes up must come down, and what you get what you give in life, and you can do it in larger gestures that are highly publicized, or you can do it in small ways all day long, and just some little thing, and notice how your life changes when you put that before your own needs.
I think
it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm a true believer in the giving forward and paying it forward, and it. And sometimes it just really surprises me on how people still do that, and that still happens. We all just have to take a part in doing it as well. And I just ironically, I've had a dog named Karma, I have a dog named Ara, and I have a dog named Chakra.
Well, you get it then, obviously.
Yeah, like you and I could be like sisters now, because I'm like I'm right there with you. I mean, I truly believe in the energies and doing those kinds of things and bringing in the good powers and getting rid of all that dark and black stuff. Get it out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm of like mind, and I feel like this music career has merely just been a great way for me to be able to come in contact and connect with as many people as possible, more than most people get to. So why wouldn't I use that in a good way?
Awesome.
To try and leave something good.
Yeah, using that platform is awesome, and I'm glad that you do. I mean, some can and some don't. You know what I mean? So it's
I think just merely the conversation we're having today is something that's going to go a long way. A lot of people are hearing us talk about this, and it might make the difference in one person's life, who can make a difference in another person's life, and it's like a domino effect. And
absolutely.
The fact that we have a platform to talk about it is great.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, I appreciate that too, and it's really awesome. I don't want to hold you too much longer because I know you're a busy gal, but real quick, people, if they want to be able to reach out to you, maybe for the projects or for your music or whatever, give us a little insight on what's the best way. Is it just through the website? Are you a social media bug? How can people reach out?
I'm on Instagram. I'm Terri Clark Music, Instagram and Twitter, and I'm on Facebook, and I have a website, terriclark.com. So any of those are good ways to reach out and find out what's going on, or finding out how to tap into something like that.
No, that's awesome. Looking forward to it. You've got Raising the Bar, the album, possible album tour this fall. Looking forward to that. A single coming out in August. Anything else you want to throw out there real quick of what your fans can be looking forward to?
Well, I'm gonna keep touring. I do shows with Pam Tillis and Susie Bogus throughout the U.S. As kind of a different facet of my touring. So those are really fun shows to come to if anybody wants to see something a little bit different. I do solo shows. I do band shows. I'll be out all summer doing a bunch of shows with my band. The album's coming in the fall. I'm going to be at the CCMA Awards in Hamilton in September. I do a radio show called Country Gold that airs weekends on about 160 stations across the U.S. So if anybody wants to hear my interviews with artists from the 90s and hear the music we play, they can listen to podcasts without any music on my website, or they can find where they can hear the show air. So lots of good stuff going on, and it's exciting.
All right. Well, we're going to play that song One Drink Ago with Dallas Smith for you. And, make sure people are guided right to your website, which is, of course, where all your links are for your social medias and stuff. I want to wish you the best with everything you have going on, Terri, and I want to thank you for your time and know that the doors to Penn Speak Radio are always open. And I'm always available if you ever want to chat again and talk about those karmas and those auras, man. You just let me know. I'm your girl.
All right, Casey. Well, thanks so much for doing this, and I will talk to you soon. Hopefully we get to do this again.
I hope so, too. Take care, Terri. Thank you so much.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.